So when we say global career counseling or global career, so what all does it actually assess in a child beyond marks?
So global careers, they have to have some assessment tools. For example, a psychometric tool, but that's one part of the larger part of the assessment. We need to assess the child's communication skills, for example, because every child needs to have confidence. He needs to build on his or her communication skills. Corporates are also looking for creativity, so the expectations have gone up high. They're not just looking for students to have their CVs or mark sheets in place. In fact, they're looking for the entire portfolio. You're investing in your own child's learning.
Yes.
And it is going to have, huge repercussions and, huge dividends will be paid. If they don't do it, it will be repercussions because they'll be lagging behind.
So do you think that some, counseling session should be for the parents also in the school?
I think we should start such counseling from grade 8 onwards, because after grade 8, 9, 10th, 11, 12, these are the 4 most crucial years which will define the next 40 years of life.
Yes.
Students have learning projects in schools. Parents are teaching them, what they are traditionally been learning through their own school system and old school of thoughts. So they think that the knowledge is limited to the textbooks, or maximum the knowledge is limited to, whatever the child is learning within the classroom.
So what do you think? What kind of projects, a child can take up from the middle school itself? We prepare our children for exams, but the world is preparing for problems to be solved. Somewhere our parenting map has not been updated, but the world map has. Welcome to Podcast Vibe with Neha, where conversations are not about mark sheets, but mindsets. Today's episode is for every parent who still asks science, commerce, or arts, while the world is asking skills, portfolio, or problem solving. And to decode the shift, I have with me someone who has been working closely with students, teachers, and institutions and has seen the transformation from the front row, Dr. Shishir Srivastava. Dr. Shishir is an educationist, mentor, and someone deeply involved in guiding institutions and young minds towards future readiness. His work revolves around helping students and parents understand that careers are no longer local decisions, they are global pathways. So, welcome to Podcast Vibe with Neha.
Thank you, Neha ma'am. Thank you so much for welcoming me.
It is completely our honor, sir, to have you again on Podcast Vibe with Neha.
Right. The pleasure and honor is completely mine as well.
So, sir, where do you see the biggest gap between parents' thinking and today's global reality when it comes to, planning their children's career?
Okay. Well, parents, especially in India, they are mostly concerned about their students, their wards' present realities, which is to prepare them for exams, the board exams, or the homework and the current school setup.
Yes.
They are not looking into the future. When they see towards future, they only see that there is a JEE exam to be given, or a CUET exam to be given, or a NEET exam to be given. So they are only focused on admissions immediately after 10+2, but they are not looking at the larger picture of a child's life, how their ward is going to be a contributor to the society in next 30, 40, 50 years. And the second thing that they are not looking into is the changing realities. We as counselors have realized the realities have changed, especially during the last 5 years. 10 years ago, we used to think that, new age careers will come in future, but this is the future now.
Yeah.
And we also are seeing that there's a relatable shift from flexibility, which was the most essential quality recognized in 21st century to exist. Now it is adaptability. So for last 5 years, especially after COVID breakdown, it is how we adapt to the environment, how we adapt to the career stream, how we adapt to the changing global patterns in businesses, in the realm that, the new age companies are setting up, especially with the Gen Z taking lead. So this is the reality which parents are either not aware or they are not preparing their students with.
So before we go further, what is global counseling? Global counseling is, does it relate to, go to abroad and study, something like that, or is it different?
Okay, it's a very good question. Most of the people think that global career counseling relates to, preparing student to be, studying abroad, going to a foreign university, or just undergraduate admissions. So that is just one small part of it. The larger picture of global career counseling is that we have to prepare our students, whether they are in India or whether they stay in India or in their city throughout their life, but for the globally challenging careers that have come. So, for example, there might be a student in Lucknow. Today, the reality is he is working for a company in New York while sitting in Lucknow itself. There might be a reality that a person in Bangalore is working for a company in Dubai. So global
Remote
career
work.
especially means, yeah, exactly. Global career means that, even if you are working remotely somewhere, you are thinking globally. You are adapting to the changes that the global corporations are building. And there has been a lot of amalgamation about, of careers, interdisciplinary careers have come up. So we're going to talk more about this in this podcast.
So just now you said that global career basically means that the person is in India and
Yes.
he or she is working for the company outside,
Right.
remotely working.
Yes.
What are the practical terms like in which they can be in this scenario?
Right. So that's a very good question, Neha ji. Like suppose there is a person who is studying psychology, for example, but with the advent of AI, now the cognitive science, the way the brain thinks, is merging with the way AI also thinks.
Yes.
So AI we have to equip through coding how cognition, the way our thinking patterns are adapted by the AI, so that humans and computers almost think alike, so that computers are able to understand our instructions. The machine language is as good as the human language. And once we are talking in the human language, machines are able to understand. So this is just one of the examples of a career. So AI combined with psychology, and for that matter, cognition. The other example could be business combined with sustainability.
Ji.
With the advent of climate change, climate crisis, the temperatures are rising. We know that the global corporations are the major contributors to climate change. So once, suppose for example, there's a company called Shell. It refines oil and it supplies oil and gas to most of the cities, to most of the countries in the world. But if Shell is not bound by some sustainability management issues or a sustainability report, just like we have got every year the business analysts, the chartered accountants, they come up with the financial health of the company and they come up with a financial report, the audits, the quarterly report. Similarly, there has to be a sustainability audit for each and every corporation in the world. So, for example, in Europe, the European Union has made it a mandate now that all the corporations in European Union have to follow the EU norms to have a sustainability report.
Okay.
Now, one needs to have an MBA and in particularly MBA in sustainability. So there are universities around the world that have started MBA in sustainability. So this is a new age career. Now this did not exist 10 years ago.
Exactly.
And now most of the students, they are going for MBA in sustainability. Third example I can give is like, we have got biology, for example, and we have got space, for example. Now there's not been, advent in space travels. So how human biology works in space, or for that matter, how life is working in space. Or to give you another example, now with a lot of countries, they are throwing their satellites and there's been a lot of space dust. So there has been a space treaty in the United Nations and that has been existing for more than 50 years now. But there's no space law. Like we have laws for the earth that, certain ships are supposed to cross through the Strait of Malacca in a particular way and through the Suez Canal. But we don't have any laws for the space.
Exactly.
So now we need new age lawyers for the space. So this is a new age career.
Yeah.
So are we preparing our students to think in global terms? So this is global career counseling. We have to shift the mindset of students right from the city domain to the country domain to the global domain, so that they think really big. They think about how they are going to amalgamate their existing interdisciplinary knowledge with other disciplines, so that they come up with the solutions to the world problems. And climate change is one of the biggest problems, and in fact it's a climate crisis now. So how can the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha, through the new age careers, solve climate crisis? So this is a new age career.
Yeah. So you just said that it is interdisciplinary. So, sir, do you think that our education system is prepared for such a change? NEP coming, and it has started though, like in
Yes.
11th and 12th,
Right.
amalgamation of subjects can be, as per the child's interest, and of course the global careers now. Maybe children are aware of that. That is how the CBSE also says that with the physics you can take geography and
Yes.
psychology maybe for
Right.
that career, like computers and AI and
Yes.
psychology also. So our education system is changing, but the mindset of our parents are not changing, right?
Right.
So still, agar, matlab if the student, the child says that I want to take physics with psychology or physics with geography, then how open parents are to this? Like, since you are a career counselor also, so when you come across such parents, so how do you convince them that?
Once this podcast is released, I'll say that watch podcast Vibe with Neha, see this podcast and become learned. Because the problem is we counselors, we are not guiding parents enough because
Yeah.
parents are not coming to us. So we are trying to reach out. So when I go to schools, I talk to parents, I talk to students. We try to open their minds to the new reality. Because with God's grace, I have traveled around the world, so I have this inclination how the world is actually changing.
Yeah.
Like when I went to Geneva, to Switzerland, to study sustainability, to study international law, even I was not aware how practical these subjects are. And even I could not believe at such a stage in my life, and I would be studying international relations and thick book of international law, and I would complete it in 4 months, give exam and thankfully pass. So when I feel that I can do it after 40, why not other people can learn? So parents also, they are not away from the students. All of us have to become a student at some stage or the other of in our lives,
Yeah.
so that we kind of gel together with our own students. So there has to be an equal. If parents are thinking they are at this pedestal, the student is at this pedestal, the fact is the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha are higher pedestal when it comes to their awareness, when it comes to the level of knowledge they have about the current streams, be it the social media, be it the digital age. So they are more digitally curious than we are.
Yes.
So we have to learn from them. We have to adapt according to their choices, and we have to see the world through their eyes. Once the parents start doing it, and the role of parents is not just to learn everything which their student is learning, but to be at least aware that whatever they are learning is taking them to the right direction. And for that matter, you can hire a good counselor not just for undergraduate admissions, but to show you the path for the future, 20 years, 40 years down the line, what new age careers are changing, how their son or daughter can become ready for the future.
Generally, what parents, why parents seek career counseling is like which course they can, study after
Right.
12th,
Yes.
and they are not really bothered that
Yes.
how that course is gonna. They are bothered, of course,
Right.
but they unka ek, traditional thinking how it is.
Right.
Like if they'll do engineering, then definitely they'll get a job, or if they'll become doctors. That kind of mindset. And if commerce, if somebody
Ji.
has taken commerce, then in commerce, CA and maybe
Ji.
bank jobs. So that mindset is there of parents, and they are seeking counselors. They do seek counselors
Ji.
nowadays. I've come across parents who
Right.
want a counselor for their child, and they consult a counselor for 11th and 12th. But still, the mindset is the same, like which undergrad course the child will
Yes.
go, and not what he'll do after 25.
Right. Yes.
Age. Yeah.
So the problem is parents are only concerned about the return on investment. That I have invested, itna maine paisa lagaya, so the child should get into a good engineering college, get a good pay package. But a problem kya ho gayi ki there are so many engineers that the market has produced that most of them are either jobless, or even if they are getting jobs, it's a very low paying package.
Yes.
So it is disturbing for them. And then they are shifting from one city into another to find a good job, and they land up doing something which they were not even meant for, in the way that they did not have the aptitude. And they get frustrated, and they remain frustrated throughout their life. So the whole idea is to do a career assessment right at the appropriate age. So for 6th to 8th, people have to become aware of what their child is good at, in which subjects. From 9 to 12th, they have to learn how their aptitude is functioning, which career are they actually truly meant to perform. from 11, 10, 12, they should not just become aware of what career options they have, but also what that career option will lead their child to become after 5 to 10 years. Because उससे ज़्यादा हम देख भी नहीं सकते फ्यूचर में.
जी.
बट फैक्ट इज, एक अगर हम बच्चे को ये कॉन्सेप्ट दें कि यू हैव टू बिकम अ transformative agent of profound social transformation. That means you have to change the society at the global level. You have to bring a transformation not just in your city or town or your country, but at the world at large. And believe me, Neha ji, people are doing it. The present UN General Assembly President is a lady. And she is very vocal about women issues. She is very vocal about the wars that are happening. And Antonio Guterres, the present UN Secretary General, he is also very vocal about the climate action or the climate change that is happening, and the kind of actions world leaders need to change. Though they cannot change much at the world stage. But the fact is कि वो भी जो है जब अपने करियर्स को राइज कर रहे होंगे, बीट कॉफी एंड नॉन बीट, तो उन्होंने भी कुछ बड़ा सोचा होगा. तो जब वो उस लेवल पे जा सकते हैं टू बिकम ग्लोबल लीडर्स, व्हाई कांट वी prepare our own students at this age so that they also think globally, acquire positions of global eminence. They have the power of the pen to change the realities of the world. When one Mr. President Trump and one Mr. Putin having the power of pen and might is right, they can change certain realities.
Yes.
Though not for good of all, but they can be good students, they can be good young leaders.
Yes.
Global thinkers who can change the realities in the future, 15, 20 years down the line,
For good.
for the world to become united, for the world to prosper, so there can be peace, prosperity, food, shelter, water, health, air, clean air, for all the 8+ billion people of this entire planet. So once we empower this generation to think of global careers like that, only then we can bring transformative change in the world.
Yes. So what are some of the new age careers which parents are completely unaware of?
Right. So for example, let's take a student who is studying engineering, and he is also very good at morals and ethics. So now AI without ethics is going to be useless.
Yeah.
So ethics have been introduced in AI. So he can become an AI ethics strategist.
Okay.
So he can think how AI will be so ethical that it can do more good to the world instead of harming the world.
Yes.
For example, a student in biology stream, now they can combine psychology with biology. So brain has its own biology. It is an organ. It thrives on oxygen. But the fact is, once you look at the entire brain from a psychological perspective, it's more of the thinking patterns, cognition, how the brain thinks,
Yes.
how it can think at multiple levels. And once you combine biology with psychology, you actually analyze like what hormones the brain undergoes so that it has produced the right kind of thinking hemisphere in the brain, wherein the brain is able to think appropriately, positively, to become a contributor to the society. So we can have a behavioral psychologist who has got a background in biology, so that not only he sees the brain as an organ, but also the cognition aspect of the brain, so that the brain becomes and remains positive and healthy. The third example could be somebody who's a commerce student who wants to go for, let's say, MBA program, but then he is also keen to pursue MBA in sustainability. Yes, I was giving you example. So he can, from commerce, he can move to sustainability by using MBA in sustainability as a bridge course. So he can go and join a corporate with a mindset that he will make that entire corporation sustainable, good for the society. Another example could be, somebody who is having, let's say, law as a tool, and he wants to aspire for becoming a corporate law. But at a later stage, they realize that law has a very wide kind of implication in the globe. So instead of just remaining a corporate lawyer for one corporation, he can become an international lawyer. And he can go and work with the ICJ, International Court of Justice, by combining his degree of law with international relations and also studying geopolitics, so that once he goes to the ICJ, the International Court of Justice in The Hague, they have this mindset to change the realities of the world by having global laws and the international laws. The rule-based international law is in place. So that kind of knowledge can be implemented actually at the global stage. Another example could be, somebody who is a CA, and or a company secretary, for example, but then they are empowered with AI tools, so that whatever analysis they have to do for a company to become, more and more logistically feasible, so that optimum use of companies' resources can be performed, and using the AI tools, the human resources can be streamlined, the resources of the company, the balance sheet, everything is done in such a way that the company performs at the optimal level. So the same company secretary, with the advent of AI tools, now there's in one company called Intel, they have produced something known as the Magic Box. So in this Magic Box, it's a customized AI tool, it's a hardware tool, wherein they combine all the intelligence of the company and they feed it into the Magic Box, and one set of instruction is given, so that with minimum resources you can produce maximum output. So with this interdisciplinary career options, one can become empowered to change realities at multiple levels.
Yeah. And so global career, when we talk about global career, it is like we don't have to seek the opportunities only in India, right?
Yes.
And we can just seek the opportunities outside India.
Yes.
And all these things are already existing outside India.
Right.
What we are just starting with.
Yes.
This kind of education which we are, the transition phase we are in.
Right.
So this is actually considering the fact that globally how Indians can, work.
Right. See, India has got 1/5 of world's population.
Yes.
It's in fact the first largest population in the world. And Indian youth between, let's say, 18 to 35 years of age, they're the world's largest number of youth population. In fact, they account to more than 40% of the world's population when it comes to the youth population. So having this number of, youth force, and if they are properly skilled with the new age skills, for example, the digital literacy is one of those tools, AI tools are one of those, coding is one of those tools. We have got so much investment to be made into education and empowerment of youth that they will just not remain here. Because see, if there are a lot of seeds and if they are sown in a small piece of land, they'll not sprout. So similarly, India is though the world's largest country as per population, but it's the 7th largest country in the world.
Yes.
And more than 40% of the land in India is uninhabitable. We cannot, live there because of the geographical reasons. So Indian youth population has to spread around the globe.
Yes.
And there are, Europe is empty. In fact, most of the Southeast Asian countries are also looking for, talented pool, because there are a lot of AI companies that have come up with AI in education, AI in healthcare. AI has touched every domain, every sphere of wherever human beings are.
Yes.
So once we have that kind of, workforce going to different parts of the world, we will empower not just India, but also the world. So we have to think globally. Though India is our motherland, we ought to say that, Indians need to stay here. But fact is, the world is also our motherland.
Absolutely.
The entire earth is seen, as Mother Earth. So this boundary is set by our own brain. Fact is, you can work from India and serve anywhere in the world. You can actually physically also travel and work anywhere in this world and then come back to your city and live there.
You can make the same changes in
Yes.
India also.
Definitely.
When you go out and observe good things about that country.
Yeah, you can learn a lot of good things from that culture.
Yeah.
And, cultural learning is one of the things that is happening now.
Yeah.
We have to learn from other people's culture.
Yeah.
So, and then adapt to those cultures, learn from those cultures.
They have learned a lot from our culture.
Yes.
And they have adapted to it.
Yes, exactly. They also are adapting from, learning from our culture as well.
Yeah. So when we say global career counseling or global career, so what all does it actually assess in a child beyond marks?
Okay. It's a very good question, Neha ji. So global careers, they have to have, some assessment tools. For example, a psychometric tool. But that's one part of the larger part of the assessment. We need to assess the child's communication skills, for example, because every child needs to have confidence. He needs to build on his or her communication skills. Corporates are also looking for creativity. So the expectations have gone up high. They're not just looking for, students to have their CVs or mark sheets in place. In fact, they're looking for the entire portfolio. So that portfolio will entail, the internships the child has done, the kind of, rigorous trainings the school might have provided him or her beyond the subject books. Has he been exposed to some internships, summer internships program? So once they are into college, the college and the top universities, they are looking forward and to students who have a complete portfolio and a diverse portfolio, not just speaking high about the child's caliber as a student, how brightly he or she has performed when it comes to assessing the marks. But these tools, they help you define the right career path. So for example, like you were talking about assessment. So assessment is not just one test. Let me define assessment. Assessment is a set of different tests. So for example, if I were to go into a corporate, the corporate will definitely ask me to make a presentation somewhere or the other. So that assessment will also have a personality test of the child. And in that personality test, there will be a sub-test of how the child is good at communication skills, how the student is performing at public speaking skills, how good are interpersonal skills,
Yes.
how well he or she can perform in group discussions, how well the child can actually perform in debates and discussions beyond the classroom settings. So that is just one part of the personality test. And like that, there are different tests that combine and they call it a huge assessment. So the kind
complete portfolio will be assessed, right? That
Exactly.
is what you meant to say.
Yes.
Like the complete portfolio, it would include everything, the debates he must have participated in,
Yes.
the MUNs he has
Right.
attended.
Yes.
So
Everything beyond classroom. MUN is the classic example you have given. Now, yesterday I was at an MUN at a prestigious school in Lucknow, and they invited me as the chief guest. So there, when I went to the different classrooms, each student was involved in different capacities. So those who were good at writing, they were involved with the IPP, that is the International Press Committee. Those who were good at debating and speaking, they were forming the core secretariat. They were becoming the UN General Assembly representatives. Those who were good at leadership, they were placed in the secretariat of that committee. Those who are good at interpersonal skills or debatory skills, they were put to represent different countries. So every student had a role, and all those roles will come in the certificate that they will be given. And MUN, of course, it builds good leadership skills. So classic example given by Neha ji, that how MUNs are integrating a lot of good things which a child learns throughout the school through textbooks of history, civics, geography, sustainability, and the geopolitical issues, the current knowledge system, the latest general knowledge.
yes.
So all of that is put into MUN. So all this is a part of the big portfolio which the child will carry to the university for admissions.
And some parents may not even be knowing what is MUN.
Yes. So MUN stands for Model United Nations, and it is a wonderful body that is created within the schools, and they also create competitions. They invite other schools to represent different issues, the burning topics. For example, war on Iran is a burning topic, but they can even go to past. Like the war on Iraq was the issue yesterday. In 2003, America decided to bring Saddam Hussein to justice. So they invaded Iraq. So all of that forms a case study, and students debate, discuss. Another committee was working on the climate change issues, because now the sporadic rise of global temperatures, the average temperature has already gone up of 2 degrees. So how global warming is going to affect the huge migrations in population around the world, and how people are going to have health crisis because of the food crisis is going to be there, world water crisis is coming up. So how can these issues be addressed by the students.
How wonderful it is
Yes.
that students are talking about these issues.
Yes.
They are aware of them.
Right.
And when they have to speak on a public forum or on MUN, like during MUNs, so how well they are prepared and they speak.
Right.
So improving their public speaking also and many skills
Yes,
along with
exactly.
that. And sometimes parents are so unaware that what is MUN. Sometimes when children say that we have to participate in that, which kya hai ye, forget it. So these are the little investments which we need to do on our
Yeah.
children,
Right.
irrespective of the cost, thinking about the cost of it, because definitely it is going to help them.
Yes. See, what you use the word Nehaji is investment.
Yeah.
So this is the right kind of investment because you are investing in your own child's learning.
Yes.
And it is going to have, huge repercussions and, huge dividends will be paid. If they don't do it, it will be repercussions because they'll be
Yes.
lagging behind. But if they do it, it will lead to dividends. It will accumulate all their interests because they will become global leaders. They will have a different mindset when they go to work in a corporate or even if they work for themselves.
Absolutely.
They will have a totally different mindset of a global citizen and they'll think like a global leader wherein they can debate, discuss, because this kind of training is rarely provided in schools otherwise.
Yes.
But once they have the exposure to this kind of MUN setting up, once they go and they absorb and observe it, their personality changes.
Yes.
They are already a global leader. Yes.
Correct, sir. You just mentioned that you have been to schools and
Yes.
You spoke about MUNs. So that's how these are the initiatives what schools are taking, like
Right.
getting in enrolling counselors like you, and children are getting aware of all these things, and parents need to trust their children when they speak about it at home when they go back. So nowadays, children are also making NGOs. I have seen few children, they like collab together and they make an
Yes.
NGO so that can be also added in their portfolio.
Yes.
They are so aware of it.
Right.
Through definitely from their school point of view, because school when enroll counselors like you, then definitely they get aware of, students
Right.
get aware of all these things.
Exactly.
And these things need to be conveyed to the parents.
Yes.
When their children come and tell them, probably they don't understand.
Yes.
They would think that they'll not understand because
Right.
with their limited capacity of understanding, the child will convey it to the parent. So do you think that some counseling session should be for the parents also
Yes.
in the school?
I think we should start such counseling from grade 8 onwards because after grade 8, 9, 10th, 11, 12, these are the 4 most crucial years which will define the next 40 years of life.
Yes.
These 4 years will define the next 40 years.
Yes.
So in these 4 years, I think there have to be regular counseling sessions for parents
Yes.
so that they know that it is in the benefit of the child that these activities are being done, so that the child becomes globally aware. And in order to make the child globally aware, parents' education is a must so that they also undergo such kind of trainings, such kind of awareness sessions, wherein they will know that whatever the child is doing is actually preparing them for a career and an undergraduate course in the university.
Yes.
Because universities also, for example, to name a few, Ashoka, for example, or Plaksha, or Flames, or Kriya, these are universities that have introduced one of its kind programs which are known as liberal arts.
Yes.
So now once students go into liberal arts, they have the power to combine history with maths or biology with psychology. And this interdisciplinary learning from various streams is actually giving rise to a new set of thought leaders
Yes.
within the student community. They are interacting with professors of Harvard, for Yale, of Stanford, that kind of level. Professors are actually counseling and guiding these students while they are in India, because these 4 universities are built on the league of the Ivy League universities, the top ranking universities in US. So once the students have to get admissions, maybe after their graduation, maybe after their class 12th, into the best universities, they need to stand up to the expectations of those
Yes.
universities.
They need to have a very strong portfolio, as
Yes.
you mentioned.
Exactly.
Yes.
So a strong portfolio, as you rightly said, Neha ji, a strong portfolio will entail not just their marks
Yes.
of right from grade 6 to grade 12. That is one part of it. but their complete personality, what they have learned, the projects they have been, involved with, the internship programs they have undergone, the training programs such as MUN they have undergone, and there's the IAYP program, that international, award program for the young people. The Duke of Edinburgh's, this is a unique program, IAYP program, wherein the students maintain their own diary. They do service projects beyond their classroom studies, and all those number of hours and activities is accumulated, and they're rewarded a certificate each as and when they go from 8 to 9, 9 to 10. So they accumulate, and once you present it to the university that, I've done these many things, it could be as good as, participating in athletics activities also.
Yes, of
So
course.
it need not be just these MUNs. They have to, their portfolio has to entail what they're actually good at.
Yes.
So people are not aware. Most of the universities in India also have a sports scholarship.
Yes.
They have a scholarship for music also. So if the child is very good in music, and if they have done certain level of ABRSM training or training from, for example, Bhaat Khande during the school days, or they have got the Trinity grades for that matter. So all this accumulates, and it shows that the student, because in undergraduate they want a very colorful portfolio. They want, different streams coming together to make the child look as if he can fit in different boxes and not just the box of academics alone.
Yes.
So one has to have academics, one has to have sports, music, social activities, SUPW, the socially useful and productive work, the MUN participation, all of that has to be combined to give a picture of the child which stands and makes him or her unique. In a, let's say, pool of 100 applicants, for example, what will make the child the right fit? He need not be the best in everything.
Yeah.
But a diverse portfolio definitely makes the student stand out. And if you have the global citizenship combined, it makes you stand out as a true world citizen, a true global citizen. So then your application will definitely be acceptable. Even if you've got a little low grades in, academics, that is not a problem. A decent score has to be there, 85%, 95% above. But the universities abroad, the broad-minded universities, the best universities, are not looking for academic results alone. They are looking for, a child who has got the complete personality, and they are able to, relate to the environment, and whatever they have learned from society, that is shown as real education in their portfolio.
So when will Indian universities will be seeing all this?
It is happening now. Most of the universities have now realized it, though some traditional universities will take time to change. So students are changing those universities.
Yeah.
For example, once these students who are well equipped with MUN during their school days, once they go to a university where there is no MUN, they start an MUN. They start inviting students from other universities. They go to the management, they pressurize them, they form committees. So they start. So the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha is very smart. They are the ones who are the leaders of the change.
Yeah.
They are wiser than the sages of the past. So if we think that, we have got certain degree and if we have read certain books, we are wise, I'm sorry to say, even educators like us, they fail in front of the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha, because they are asking the right questions, of which perhaps we also may not have the answer.
That is why we just snub them. But they are the people who just can't be snubbed.
Yeah. They cannot be suppressed.
Yeah.
You have to address, you have to be bold to ask. And the best thing you can do is you can say, I'll find it out if you don't know the answer.
Yes.
Instead of snubbing them or shying away from the answer. And it's up to the teachers to do their research, come back the next day, and then participate in a discussion or a debate with them. So it has to be a co-learning environment. Why schools are failing to address the students and why there is a lot of aggression in the students is because most of the, there's a gap between the teachers and the students because of the learning ratio of the children is much higher than the learning ratio of the teachers. And of course the leaders of the schools, because they are, working on different set of norms. They are not going to the classrooms.
Yeah.
So you have to go to the classroom, you have to talk to children what level they are, what they are doing, and you have to practice doing that. It's said that if you have to make a good friend, either you have to rise to that friend's level, or you have to come down to the level of that person. So either ways, teachers, whether they are at a higher level or a lower level, You have to match your level with the student's level.
Yes.
Only then you can make good friends with them.
So, what practical steps can parents take to shift their, tuition mindset to the project and skill mindset?
Very good question, Neha ji. Students are learning projects in schools. Parents are teaching them, what they are traditionally been learning through their own school system and old school of thoughts. So they think that the knowledge is limited to the textbooks, or maximum the knowledge is limited to, whatever the child is learning within the classroom. Fact is, knowledge has gone beyond the textbooks, beyond the classrooms. So students, when they come back home, they are trying to do some project. So parents need to encourage them for internship programs. They have to send them to the right career coaches. They even have to see that the child has to learn beyond the books. So if the child is engaged in some project at home, is trying to finish some project work, or reading a book that is not a textbook, or playing a music which is not the part of the academic curriculum, or for that matter, he is into sports which he likes naturally playing, or he is into even gaming and coding at home. So parents need to be with the children and encourage them.
Yeah, it should not be considered as waste of time.
Yes, because see, we have seen in our own school days that, we had the rote learning, the memorization system. So the memorization system has totally broken down. It has gone to more project-based learning. It has gone to more research-based learning.
Yes.
So because things change, things change, and
Children have changed.
exactly. See, the earth is
Children
round.
have been changed.
The earth is round. I'm just giving a classic example. The earth is round. It has remained round for 4.5 billion years. But the weather of the earth is not the same.
Yes.
We had a very terrible weather in April. The month was as hot as June, usually. Then we had, terrible rains
Yes.
for almost a week. And the temperature went down as much as 20 degrees. And then now again we are having a sporadic rise in temperature. So you see, within 1 month, from April to May, we have seen a transition in weather. So similarly, the global environment of the companies, the global scenario is changing. Companies are welcoming those students who have got a global mindset. They are ready to adapt to new ways of learning. So the old ways of learning was that you learn something, you reproduce. Now the new way of learning is project based. You have to have critical thinking mindset. You have to have higher order thinking mindset. You also need to, implement the interdisciplinary, issues and subjects into daily life, so that you can solve the problem of the world and solve the problems of that, company. So it has gone from, knowledge providers to solution providers. So companies are now looking for, actively looking for students who have got the skills to actively provide solutions.
Yes.
And solutions don't come easily because it's a complex world. It's an interconnected and complex world. So those kind of complex problems can only be solved by students who have been exposed to various level of thought processes through the projects.
So what do you think? What kind of projects, a child can take up from the middle school itself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. A very good question. So, for example, CBSE has introduced Kaushal Bodh, especially from 6th to 8th. So, they have got textbooks. Now, teachers are puzzled with the textbooks. So, they have to bring out those projects. For example, there is a simple project like planting a sapling. So, earlier, we used to just read how a plant grows.
Yes.
We used to make a diagram and come back. Now, CBSE wants, with the new education policy, children to actually plant a sapling, see how it grows. So there are schools which are naming saplings after the child's mother, after the child's name, so that the child actually takes care of that plant, sees it growing. So he has an association with the nature when he or she grows up. This is just one small project. Now there are other projects. Suppose somebody is at home and a door has broken or a window has broken. So can some carpentry skills be given to a child at this age? So yes, CBSE has encouraged that there has to be a skills lab within the school. Children are also doing, for example, a very different portfolio. They are doing podcasts. So there are schools which are setting up podcast studios. I mean, see, you are one of those people who has actually relearned. You have reinvented yourself. right from an educator to become a podcaster. So
Thank you so much, sir.
likewise, we need reinventions within the child's personality. We need also need reinventions in the teacher's personality. We need reinventions in the parent's personality.
Yes, most
So
important.
exactly. So if the parents don't reinvent, so in order to reinvent, they have to do three things. They have to learn, they have to unlearn, and they have to relearn.
Yes.
But the goal should be that, your version of 2025 should not define your version of 2026.
Yes.
जो आप 2026 में हैं, वो 2025 में वैसे नहीं थे ना. आप इवॉल्व हो गए, बन गए कुछ. तो अब जो 2027 आएगा उसमें आप क्या डिफरेंट होंगे. सो यू हैव टू थिंक अहेड ऑफ टाइम. यू हैव टू प्रोजेक्ट योर सेल्फ, योर बॉडी, माइंड, सोल into the future, let's say 1 year, 2 year, 5 years down the line, and think कि हम क्या इवॉल्व होंगे, क्या बनेंगे, और वहाँ उसको फिक्स करके हमें क्या क्या लर्निंग्स के थ्रू अंडरगो करना पड़ेगा, क्या मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी प्रेजेंट में. तो जब आप चेंज करोगे अपने को, तो जो आपके बच्चे हैं वो भी देखेंगे कि मेरे मम्मी पापा भी चेंज कर रहे हैं, तो मुझे भी चेंज करना है. सो नाउ पीपल आर टॉकिंग अबाउट सेल्फ लव.
Yes.
And earlier it was self-sacrifice. So self-love क्या है? Self-sacrifice. Earlier हमारे पेरेंट्स self-sacrificing थे कि बच्चों के लिए करना है, खाना भी नहीं खाना है, मेहनत करनी रात दिन. अब क्या है कि बच्चे उन पेरेंट्स का ज़्यादा रिस्पेक्ट कर रहे हैं जो कि अपनी सेल्फ लर्निंग में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं. तो सेल्फ लव इज शेपिंग योर सेल्फ इन ऑर्डर टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर द प्रेजेंट एंड द फ्यूचर. सो जितना आप अपने हेल्थ पे ध्यान देंगे, जितना आप अपनी केयर करेंगे, स्किल्स डेवलप करेंगे, नई चीज़ें सीखेंगे. जैसे हम आपसे बहुत सीखते हैं. आपने जो है अपने आप को रीइन्वेंट किया फ्रॉम एन एजुकेटर, नाउ यू आर, नेहा जी, अ पॉडकास्टर, एंड यू आर इवॉल्विंग ऑल्सो एज एन इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस कोच. आपने एक बहुत अच्छा पेरेंटिंग पे भी वर्कशॉप किया. सो आपने कई सारे पोर्टफोलियोज खुद भी अडाप्ट किए हुए. और एक पॉडकास्ट में मैं देखता हूँ लाइक दे आर सो मच ऑफ वर्क. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं स्किल्स की बात करूँगा, एंड स्टूडेंट्स कैन ऑल्सो लर्न, पेरेंट्स कैन ऑल्सो लर्न. So not just you have to ask the right questions, not just you have to get this podcast edited, you have to look at, how well the audience will receive it. So you have to have a set of skills so that it is well received by the audience, either through reels or through reaching out on different social media platforms. So ये integrated learning है. तो ये जो integrated learning है, हमें ठीक इसी प्रकार से सब learnings को integrate करना पड़ेगा in order to become a holistic personality ourselves. So once parents start becoming a holistic personality, ये नहीं है कि हमने जो 15 साल पहले सीखा वो बहुत था, उससे ही हम satisfied हो जाएंगे. Because every month the world is changing.
Yes.
At a rapid pace. So with that kind of rapid pace, we also have to have a rapid pace of unlearning, relearning, and reinventing ourselves.
Yes, so it is a very good thing. Like parents need to evolve in a way that they become the role model for the child.
Yes.
Because child is learning by observing the parents, by observing everyone around him.
Right.
So that's a very good thing. So you said that we need to evolve ourselves, and then we expect somebody else to change. When we
Right.
are unable to change ourselves,
Yes.
like we are not willing to change, how can we expect that the child will bring any change in him or her?
Right. That's very true. Until unless you change. See, parents are leaders of their children. Teachers are leaders of the classroom. Principals are the leaders of schools. Managers are the leader of not just their schools but the society around them.
Yes.
Political leaders are leaders of the society. The global leaders are the leaders of the globe. So every leader, be it at any level, or be it a teacher in classroom, a parent at home, until unless you change yourself, people around you won't change. So the best thing is to go through a painful exercise. Now why I call it painful exercise? Because any change will first invite pain. And before you invite pain, you have to invite a challenge. And before you invite a challenge, you have to have the willingness to change, learn and grow. So it starts with a willingness to learn, change and grow. Then you invite a challenge. Then you go through pain. And through that painful process, you learn, relearn, unlearn, and then reinvent. And then you are a completely new yourself. So that in order to become a completely new yourself, the next version of yourself, you have to love yourself and continue to learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Yes.
Yes.
For the good of the society, for your children. and-
Exactly. All keeping, your own child in mind, because you are the role model of your child.
Yes.
Be it a parent, be it a teacher, you have to become role models.
So let me very quickly have your insights. So
Right.
one mistake 90% of Indian parents make while discussing careers.
Well, they are not thinking about careers in a wider perspective. They are thinking careers in the terms of college admissions. So, if they are focused only on getting their child admitted to a university for a degree program and not thinking about the larger aspect of child's life, how he or she is going to meaningfully be a contributing factor to the society 30, 40 years keeping ahead in
Yes.
mind. So, they have to think about the career and not just about the college degree.
Yes, right. Marks or mindset, which matters more for long term success?
Of course, mindset shift is required because world is changing, it's
Yes.
evolving, and if we don't change the mindset from within, how can we bring the change outside?
Yes, agreed. One career area that will see massive growth in the next 10 years.
We'll always be human centric because we are humans. We are
Yes.
not cybernetic organisms, as Maxwell Maltz had put it. But the fact is, we behave like that. So AI has come. So with the advent of AI and the human species working more like a psycho-cybernetic organism, that means we have a mindset and we implement it through a computerized process. So AI tools, along with human-centric approach, be it healthcare, be it education, be it anywhere, be it tourism, be it cooking, be it going to a restaurant, all of these careers will be amalgamated, integrated with AI. So we have to be very aware that we are going to through the next phase of evolution using all the human-centric careers but with the aid of AI. So coding has to be part of our education system very strongly.
So, if parents remember one thing, one takeaway from our conversation, what would it be?
I think parents have to remember that they have to prepare their child right from an early age with a global mindset so that they prepare him or her for entire life and not just a few exams of class 6, 7th, 8th or the board exams or the exams of universities, all the competitive exams. These are a very small part of their huge life. So the huge life is a big circle and this is a very small minuscule dot in this huge circle. So they have to think at the larger circle of life. They have to prepare their children to face the challenges of the life. They have to have confidence. They have to have communicative skills. They have to have build the courage through project-based learning, internships, and exposing them to a wide variety of interests and hobbies so that they are prepared to face the challenges of the century.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing not just the information but upgrading our parenting maps.
My pleasure.
So,
Neha
thank you
ji.
so much, sir. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure having you here.
Yes, my pleasure too. My honor as well.
Thank you, sir. So, today's conversation reminds us of one powerful truth. Career counseling is no longer about choosing a stream, it is about preparing a child to belong anywhere in the world. From marks to mindset, from degrees to skills, from India limited thinking to global possibilities. This shift is what our children truly need. This is Neha, and this is Podcast Vibe with Neha, where we don't just talk about education, we talk about the future our children are walking into. Until next time, let's raise children who are not just exam ready, but world ready. Thank you.